Establishing battlefield control. Stand by. Battle control
Capacitors
online.
fully charged, just like the old days.
New mission objective received.
Just like the old days. I feel revitalized, just like the old days. Just like the old days.
Unit promoted.
Why do we wait? One by one. What? Nobody to kill? Of course. Just like the old days. Of course.
Unit promoted.
Nicola would be proud. Why do we wait? What? Nobody to kill? Of course. Why do we wait?
Unit promoted.
Capacitor fully charged. One by one. Just like the old days. Need a shocking therapy, see? Why do we wait? Now you die. Why do we wait?
Unit promoted.
I need a shocking therapy, see? Just like the old days. Nobody to kill? And we run. Just like the old days. Why do we wait? Just like the old days. What? Nobody to kill? Of course. Why do we wait? Of course. And they run. Just like the old days. Just like the old days. Just like the old days. Kill them all. Just like the old days. Of course. Of course. And they run. Just like the old days. Now you die. Kill them all. What? Nobody to kill? Just like the old days. And they run. Leading the Soviet war machine. Need a shocking therapy, I see. Capacitors fully charged. Of course. Why do we wait? What? Nobody to kill?
Objective complete.
Nobody to kill? Nicola would be proud. Just like the old days. I feel revitalized.
New terrain discovered.
Why do we wait?
New mission objective received.
Nicola would be proud. Why do we wait?
Reinforcements have arrived.
Why do we wait?
We fight close with the enemy.
Unit firepower upgraded.
Revitalized. Why do we wait? Capacitors
Capacitors
fully charged.
Armored
Just like the old
multi-rocket.
days. I feel revitalized. Bring them to me. Why do we wait?
Zenith Reserve?
Capacitors fully charged. Why do we wait? What? Nobody to kill? Now you die. Nicola would be proud. Of course.
Zenith Reserve?
Bring them to me. Of course. Nikola would be proud. Just like the old days. Capacitors fully charged. What? Nobody to kill? Capacitors fully charged. Capacitors fully charged. What? Nobody to kill? Leading the Soviet war machine. What? Nobody to kill? Bring them to me, just like the old days. I feel revitalized.
I am here. Zenit Wizard, I am here.
I feel revitalized. What? Nobody to kill? I feel revitalized. Need a shocking therapy, I see. What? Nobody to kill? Nikola would be proud. Of course. Bring them to me. Of course. Leading the Soviet war machine. What? Nobody to kill?
Armored multi-role
Select target.
Leading the Soviet war machine.
Greetings,
Unit armor
Would be
upgraded.
proud. What? Nobody to kill? Capacitors fully charged. Of course. What? Nobody to kill? Just like the old days. Of course. And Iran. Need a shocking therapy, I see. Capacitors fully charged. Kill them all. Just like the old days. I feel revitalized. One by one. Leading the Soviet war machine. Now you die. Leading the Soviet war machine. Now you die. Capacitors fully charged. Of course. Need a shocking therapy, see? Capacitors fully charged. What? Nobody to kill? Nikola would be proud. Why do we wait? Of course. Why do we wait? Of course. One by one. Why do we wait? Bring them to me. Nikola would be proud. Now you die. I feel revitalized. What? Nobody to kill? Kill them all. Capacitors fully charged. And they run. Bring them to me. Just like the old days. And they run. What? Nobody to kill? Nikola would be proud. Just like the old days. I feel revitalized. What? Nobody to kill? I feel revitalized. Just like the old days. One by one. Leading the Soviet war
Select
machine.
target.
I feel revitalized. One by one. Bring them to me. And they run. Of course. Nikola would be proud. Of course. Leading the Soviet war machine. Need a shocking therapy, I see. I feel revitalized. Need a shocking therapy, I see. What? Nobody to kill? Leading the Soviet war machine. What? Nobody to kill? Bring them to me. Why do we wait? Capacitors fully charged. Why do we wait? Just like the old days. I feel revitalized. And they run. Bring them to me. Now you die. Capacitors fully charged. Just like the old days. Nikola would be proud. Just like the old days. Capacitors fully charged. Leading the Soviet war machine. Capacitors fully charged. Just like the old days. The shocking therapy, I see. Leading the Soviet war machine. Need a shocking therapy, I see. Nikola would be proud. One by one. Just like the old days. Of course. Capacitors fully charged. Of course. One by one. Why do we wait? I feel revitalized. Just like the old days. Capacitors fully charged. Capacitors fully charged. Of course. Bring Bring them to me. Kill them all. I feel revitalized. And they run.
Select
I
target.
feel revitalized. Just like the old days. Bring them to me. Nicola would proud. And they run. I feel revitalized. Why do we wait? Need a shocking therapy, I see. Capacitors fully charged. What? Nobody to kill? Need a shocking therapy, I see. Nicola would proud. And they run. What? Nobody to kill? Nicola would proud. Just like the old days. Leading the Soviet war machine.
Commander.
Just like the old days. Kill them all. What? Nobody to kill? Now you die. I feel revitalized. Just like the old days. And they run. I feel revitalized. Kill them all. I feel revitalized. One by one. Bring them to me. Of course. Leading the Soviet war machine. Capacitors fully charged. Capacitors fully charged. Need a shocking therapy, see? I feel revitalized. What? Nobody to kill? Now you die. Bring them to me. Why do we wait? Now you die. Nicola would be proud. What? Nobody to kill? What? Nobody to kill? Why do we wait? Capacitors fully charged. Now you die. Of course. Now you die. Nicola would be proud. Capacitors fully charged. Of course. Bring them to me. One by one.
Select target.
Bring them to me. Kill them all. Bring them to me. They run. Bring them to me. Just like the old days. Need a shocking therapy, I see. Bring them to me. What? Nobody to kill? Nicola would be proud. Capacitors fully charged. Just like the old days. Kill them all. Bring them to me. Just like the old days. Why do we wait? Need a shocking therapy, I see. Just like the old days. Why do we wait? What? Nobody to kill? Of course. What? Nobody to kill? Nicola would be proud. Now you die. Why do we wait? And they run. Capacitors fully charged. Of course. Capacitors fully charged. Capacitors fully charged. One by one. Of course. Now you die. Just like the old days. Why do we wait? And they run. One by one. What? Nobody to kill? One by one. One by one. Of course. Of course. Why do we wait? Nicola would be proud. One by one. I feel revitalized. And they run. Of course. Now you die. Kill them all. Kill them all. Just like the old days. One by one. What? Nobody to kill? Need a shocking therapy, see? Now you die. What? Nobody to kill? One by one. Just like the old days. Now you die. Why do we wait? What? Nobody to kill? What? Nobody to kill? What? Nobody to kill? One by one. What? Nobody to kill? Now you die. Of course. And they run, just like the old days. One by one. Just like the old days. The shocking terror pits here. Just like the old days. Of course. Just like the old days. Of course. And they run. Why do we wait? Why do we wait? Of course. What? Nobody to kill? Why do we wait? Of course. What? Nobody to kill? Now you die. Just like the old days. One by one. Why do we wait? Just like the old days. One by one. Of course. Why do we wait? Just like the old days. Why do we wait? What? Nobody to kill? One by one. Of course. Now you die. Just like the old days. Of course. What? Nobody to kill? Kill them all! What? Nobody to kill? One by one.
Select target.
Revitalize. What? Nobody to kill? Just like the old days. Now you die. What? Nobody to kill? One by one. Of course. The shocking therapy, I see. Just like the old days. Why do we wait? Why do we wait? Of course. And they run. Why do we wait? Now you die. Capacitors fully charged. One by one. Need a shocking therapy, I see. Of course. Now you die. What? Nobody to kill? Kill them all! Of course! Of course! And they run. One by one. Kill them all! Just like the old days. Now you die. Of course! One by one. One by one. Just like the old days. Just like the old days. Of course. Of course. Just like the old days. Need a shocking therapy.
Zenith is there?
Nikola would be proud. Just like the old days. Just like the old days. Now you die. Of course. What? Nobody to kill? Kill them all.
Zenith is
Nikola
there?
would be proud. Why do we wait? Of course. What? Nobody to kill? Capacitors fully charged. Need a shocking therapy.
Zenith is there?
The Soviet war machine. They run. Leading the Soviet war machine. One by one. I revitalize. Kill them all. Bring them to me. They run. Nikola would grow. What? Nobody to kill? Of course. Kill them all. Of course. Now you die. One by one. Nikola would grow. Just like the old days. Leading the Soviet war machine. Why do we wait? Leading the Soviet war machine. Of course. Nikola would be proud. What? Nobody to kill?
Select target.
Leading the Soviet war machine. Why do we wait? Leading the Soviet war machine. What? Nobody to kill? Kill them all! Bring them to me! Need a shocking therapy, I see. What? Nobody to kill? Bring them to me! Kill them all! Capacitors fully charged. Nikola would be proud. Now you die, leading the Soviet war machine. Bring them to me, just like the old days. Bring them to me. Capacitors fully charged. Why do we wait? Bring them to me. Now you die. Nikola would be proud. Now you die. Why do we wait? Of course. Now you die. What? Nobody to kill? Leading the Soviet war machine. Why do we wait? Nikola would be proud. Just like the old days. Nikola would be proud. Why do we wait? There's shocking therapy at sea. Leading the Soviet war machine. Kill them all. Capacitors fully charged. One by one. Of course. I revitalize. Need a shocking therapy at sea. Why do we wait? I feel revitalize. Of course. Kill them all. Bring them to me. Leading the Soviet war machine. Just like the old days. Just like the old days. Bring them to me. Why do we wait? Leading the Soviet war machine. Need a shocking therapy, see? I feel revitalized. Just like the old days. Just like the old days. Nikola would be proud. Just like the old days. What? Nobody to kill? Need a I feel revitalized. Need a shocking therapy, see?
I am Zenith
Bring
Reset.
them to me. Why do we wait? I feel revitalized. Just like the old
We have enough
days.
gas for that. And then we had a feast. I'll fight, I promise. Armored multi-roll carrier. Gas for that. We
I
have enough
feel
gas for that.
revitalized. Just like the
Select
old
target.
days. Capacitors fully charged. Just like
We
the
fight
old
close to
days.
the enemy. It all comes to this. Not a problem. It all comes to this. We fight close to the enemy. Do we have enough gas for that? We hit our pony. And then we had a feast. I am here. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'll fight, I promise. Sounds good. And then we had a feast.
Unit firepower
Zenith
upgraded.
Reset? I was hoping you'd be done. Armored multi-role carrier. Do we have enough gas for that? Greetings, Commander. Do we have enough gas for that? I am here. Do we have enough gas for that? Greetings, Commander. Greetings, Commander. Sounds good. I was hoping you'd pick that. I'll fight, I promise. Enough of this. Greetings, Commander. I was hoping you'd pick that. Armored multi-role carrier. Prepare for anything. I am here. Zenith Reset? Greetings, Commander.
Unit promoted.
We fight close to the enemy. Zenith Reset? Armored multi-role carrier. Greetings, Commander. We fight close to the enemy. And then we had a feast. I am here. I am here. Armored multi-role carrier. Do we have enough gas for that? We fight close to the enemy.
Unit
Armored
promoted.
multi-role carrier. And then we had a feast. We fight close to the enemy. Do we have enough gas for that? Armored multi-role carrier. Do we have enough gas for that? I'll fight, I promise. And then we had a
Select target.
feast. Greetings, Commander. Sounds good. Greetings, Commander. Do we have enough gas for that? I'll fight, I promise. I'll fight, I promise. Fight close to the enemy. I was hoping you'd pick that. I am here. I was hoping you'd pick that.
Objective complete.
I'll fight, I promise.
Mission accomplished.